Good evening and welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. The Knicks win Game 1 in San Antonio. Hart's all over the place. Bodega Cat and none other than Captain Clutch. Brunson, baby. We're with Mike from Pudgy Boy Sports. It's New York Minute Sports. Get up, New York. We're up 1-0. Let's go!
It's New York Minute Sports.
Well, there you have it, folks. Welcome to another installment of the New York Minute Sports Show. And we got a special edition for you today. The NBA Finals, New York Knicks. Get fired up, New York. We got Mike from Pudgy Boy Sports with a Z.
Pleasantly surprised, but how can we be surprised? This is 12 wins in a row, 7 straight road victories by double-digit points for this basketball team. Nothing from this day on surprises me with this squad anymore.
I'll tell you exactly why. Because we think as Knicks fans, in the back of our brain, we don't deserve nice things. In the back of our brain, we're the whipping boys of the NBA, but guess what, dude? Those days are over, Johnny. When you look at this New York Knicks team, that's exactly what they are, and you hit the nail on the head on Instagram last night, Mike. They are a team. They play this game as a team. Not one individual like Wemby is going to put them on their back and ride them to the promised land. No, this is a team effort with a Captain Clutch, Mariano Rivera closer who throws a cutter every time, none other than our boy Brunson. Full disclosure, I was in a full fetal position when the Yankees were down 1 run and Brunson left the game last night. I thought, we can't deserve nice things. We finally get to the finals and Brunson goes down. I was getting flashbacks from when Ewing tore his Achilles before the Spurs. I'm like, is it every time we play the Spurs? But no, Mike, they showed up. They showed out last night. Take us from the first quarter on, bro. What were you most impressed by?
I mean, the quick start right off the bat, right? I mean, not the start after they fell down with the 20-3 run, but the fact that the first quarter when Brunson gets hurt, and in the back of my head, I don't know. There was more of I'm not worried because we've seen Brunson get dinged up, nicked up, bumped, bruised, his jersey pulled. We've seen a lot of stuff already this series. And in past series, it's going to have to take, honestly. They're going to have to chop the guy's fucking leg off if they want him to not play a basketball game, because you've seen him twist ankles, hurt his shoulder, get bumped. I mean, you've seen it all. And he just miraculously always comes back to play, knock on wood. They fell down early, and they fell down after the 20-3 run. The Knicks in the first quarter shot the ball well to start, but then they just couldn't buy a bucket after that, which, happens. They sustained that initial punch in the gut that usually the home team gives you on the first game of a series, and they just kind of they readily kept it straight. They didn't have to worry about falling too far behind, obviously, until we got to the third quarter. But
you know what I noticed about in the beginning of the game, though? The Knicks come out hot. They hit their first 2 shots. Brunson hits the 3. OG hits the 3. We're right back to hitting 3-pointers. The Knicks haven't missed a step. They came out the gates hot. The Spurs looked a little gassed in the first quarter. That's usually what happens after a team goes 7 after a tough team with OKC. You got to remember the Knicks only played 4 games in the last 23 days, so people were expecting some ring rust. But you know what? Brunson comes down the court, hits the 3. Then Wemby gets the block, comes down the other end of the court, hits the 3. I'm like, the NBA Finals are on, baby. Let's go. And I'll tell you this, we've said it before on this show, Mike, is the fact that Karl-Anthony Towns makes the New York Knicks into a championship contender. I've been saying this since day one. He likes to be the whipping boy of the New York Knicks fan base. The guy broke the double-doubles record for the New York Knicks in a single season this year. He's probably had the 3rd best big man season of any New York Knick ever. And last night, he showed up. He was Bodega Cat, and he bully-balled Wemby, who was looking thin and a little weak, maybe gassed from the 7 games. Only scored 24 last night and was not as dominant as the OKC series. So is that directly responsible for Karl-Anthony Towns?
Yeah, 100%. It's the Karl-Anthony Towns mixture with Mitch as well, but Towns, for the majority of the game, did a tremendous job defensively on Wemby, staying on his feet, not falling for those pump fakes. Wemby, as a lot of people are going to notice now, maybe more the national media or Knicks fans that really don't follow the Spurs often, you're going to notice something about Wemby where it's 90% face to the basket is his offense. He's not posting you up. He had an opportunity when Josh Hart started the game against him. He didn't even post up Josh Hart. You're not going to see him with his back to the basket. The majority of his play comes from the top of the key, and then they want him to act like he's Bob Cousy and dribble the ball down the court. You got OG, you got Bridges, you got guys who are going to swipe at that ball, and you saw the Knicks get 7 or 8 steals last night. Wemby, it looked like, I mean, what do you have, 26 and 14 of them from the free throw line?
Yeah.
And he shot 9 threes. I will live with that the rest of this series. 9 3-pointers from a 7'4" guy like that.
And you know what? And Karl-Anthony Towns threw the Knicks on his back last night when Brunson was down. They were down 14 points. You could tell Karl-Anthony Towns took that game over last night, played bully ball. And I love when he does the Bodega Cat Rhino, when he grabs that ball like this, bro, and he just goes right up to the basket and finishes tough. I'll tell you this, man, he's been 3 different kinds of guys in this playoff so far. He's been the bully ball when you need him. He's been the finesse 3-point guy when you need him. The New York Knicks are firing on all cylinders, and yeah, what goes up must come down, but the New York Knicks are playing out of their minds right now. They've already accomplished their goal of the first 2 games. They've already stole one in San Antonio. The game on Friday is house money. I know the New York Knicks are not going to treat it as such. They're going to go in and try to win this. Now, the New York Knicks fans, let's pump the brakes a little bit. This whole sweep nonsense bullshit, please, don't jinx us, guys. We don't need this on our psyche. Knicks in 6, let's stick to the script, okay? Because it's not going to be as easy as it was last night because these guys were rebounding from 7 games. But you mentioned Hart before, who was the heart of the New York Knicks, no pun intended, last night, does every single thing that doesn't show up in a box score. Mike, let's speak about Hart and his performance last night.
I mean, Hart's a guy too, right? You saw in the last series where, you know, with the Cavaliers, the way they were defending him, if his jump shot wasn't going to be there, he wasn't going to play, right? You saw Mike Brown put him on the bench in game 1. He responded. This is the Josh Hart. This is the glue that the Knicks traded for. This is the guy, 15 rebounds last night, out-rebounded 7'4" Wembanyama, got on the boards. Every single board that ball went off the rim, you just saw number 3 somewhere grabbing the board, swiping it away from somebody else to get a rebound. He doesn't need to score to make the biggest impact on the team. And like you said, too, besides Cat, and obviously Brunson with the fourth quarter stuff, you're always going to get fourth quarter Brunson. Besides Cat, I mean, Josh Hart was the glue to everything last night. He was pushing the pace early in the game. We noticed that might not work so much against this team, which is a lot quicker than the Cavs and the Hawks and the other crap team we played. But this guy at 6'4", the way that he's perfected rebounding the basketball, it should be studied from other people his size that want to get into the NBA that really don't have the best offensive game. That's the guy that you study every single night.
Well, I mean, you could even see that with Caruso from Oklahoma City. He plays the same style of ball. He's a junkyard dog and with an endless gas tank, and that's exactly what you still need in the NBA. Dude, that got Dennis Rodman by for 14 years as an NBA player, is just being an absolute dog with a gas tank. Now, when you bring up Hart, what reminds me of Hart is Bridges, and what I mean by that is both of these guys have turned into exactly what the New York Knicks tried to acquire. You have Bridges doing everything that doesn't show up in the box score, still shooting 76% from the floor, and when it's needed, he's an afterthought. He's like the 5th choice on this team, and when he does shoot it now, he's knocking them down, playing great defense last night. The New York Knicks won by 10 points in San Antonio on the road. They were 4.5-point dogs. They're dogs in the series, and now I feel comfortable, Mike. I'm in my comfort zone. When the New York Knicks were the favorites in the last 3 series, I just didn't know how to handle that. I love being the dog, and that's exactly what these New York Knicks are. And the watch parties last night were ape shit crazy, man. New York City is absolutely batshit Knicks crazy, and God bless the Knicks for and it's a godsend for the Yankees going into their boon swoon at 0-2 right now. But the New York Knicks are red hot. Also, Mike Brown's "Who Let the Dogs Out" video is absolutely hilarious. He's just like, "Who let the dogs out? Who?" You could tell that he had these guys loose. he had these guys ready to play. They're playing they're mocking the New York Knicks with the intro music, with the meme song last night, and the New York Knicks just come on, show up and show out. They make it close at halftime. Third quarter was a little rough coming out from the second half. The New York Knicks settled down. They won by 10. And also, by the way, we got a guy named OG, and he can wake up at any time he wants and score 32 points. The Knicks look like the complete team here, Mike. And the Spurs, maybe it's just one game. Wembanyama can be assembling the Death Star right now for game 2 on Friday night. So that being said, let's talk about Mitch last night. The big pinky going into the game was the big story. How do you think Mitch handled the big pinky last night?
I think he was fine. I mean, I think there was one play that I noticed that he went for a dunk and missed, and then he grabbed at the hand, and then he started wincing a little bit. But I think for the most part, and then you saw his impact, dude, in the fourth quarter when the Knicks were up 8. There was that possession where the Knicks got the travel on Wembanyama,
Yep.
where Wembanyama was in the corner, faked the 3. Mitch stood on his feet, which was the great move, followed him to the free throw line, and then they got the travel on Wembanyama. I mean, that's why you have Mitchell Robinson on this team. That's why a lot of people saying he wouldn't be, it's not that big of a deal. No, we need Mitchell Robinson to win a championship. He's a key part off that bench on defense. And there was a huge piece right there on that play alone.
Yeah, and you're starting to see when they were talking about young teams with zero experience in the finals, and we even said this during the Monday show, is that the Nova Knicks have more experience than the Spurs, just in the fact that they've played in a national championship game twice.
Yep. And do like a couple of shout outs too that a lot of people might overlook. When Brunson went down for those minutes that he went to the locker room, major shout out to Jose Alvarado, who regulated the game. He didn't let things get out of hand. He did score 7 clutch buckets. I didn't even know he had 7 points at the end of the game. I looked at the box score and said, wow, he did kind of steady things a little bit. Landry Shamet has been off the bench, has been unreal. And Richard Jefferson made a good point last night on the broadcast saying Shamet started, I think, 1 for 3 from 3, but he said, no, you got to keep shooting. And that's exactly what Shamet did. And then he knocked down his next 2 shots. There was the bucket that you just saw there. Knicks were starting to fall down by 8. He hits the clutch 3, gets it back to 5. I mean, he's been unreal off the bench for the New York Knicks.
And you know what? Shamet's just not a 3-point shooter, man. That guy plays lockdown defense on top of it. Out of Wichita State, got a good program over there. They play defense and hit threes, and that's exactly what Shamet brings to the table. Now, he's even surpassed Deuce McBride in my eyes of a guy that I want having that scenario or shooting that 3-pointer before McBride does. Grand Theft Alvarado last night completely contributed. And then also, what does this have to do with everything? They have a bench. We got Clarkson in there, and Clarkson is a fast change of pace guy. You know I'm a big fan of Clarkson. He can come in and get you 6 points in 6 minutes and turn the game around. This is the option that the New York Knicks have this year that they didn't have last year. The reason that they're healthy, they're rested, is because they've been so efficient in the playoffs, but also they're playing a different style of ball. Also, the pick and roll last night for Mitchell Robinson, that seemed to work when he missed on that first one with Cornette, and then he got the second return and threw it down in. Seems like that hand is healthy. But let's talk about the negative. Some of the negatives in this game, and the Knicks did make the correction, but what was driving me absolutely batshit in the beginning of the game with the New York Knicks was that they were crashing the hoop and dishing. They had about 6 different opportunities when they were at 14 points to go up to about 24 points. And then you remember that's when the Spurs actually took their lead. They went up 24-14. The Knicks left about 6 buckets on the table because they were so preoccupied about Wemby blocking the middle that they would dish it to the side, and then they weren't hitting their shots. But the irony of this whole situation is, Mike, is that the New York Knicks were getting their asses kicked when Wemby was out of the game.
And when Wemby took that first break in the first quarter, I think there was an 11-3 spurt that they went on before making it 20-3. The non-Wemby minutes in the beginning really didn't help the Knicks at all, but you saw, like you said, Brown made the adjustments really quickly in the second half, and then those non-Wemby minutes, just like in the OKC series, the non-Wemby minutes in the second half, the Knicks really, really took advantage of. You saw Mitch Johnson, the coach for the San Antonio Spurs, he rested Wemby for 40 seconds in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You can't, you need him on the court. And that's where in the beginning of the fourth, I was texting a friend of mine. I said, they're not going to be able to play Wembanyama the entire fourth quarter. It's just impossible for a guy his size, for the thing that he's doing. He can't play the entire fourth. They put him down for 45 seconds. Brunson hit 2 straight shots in the lane, and then he's waving Wembanyama back in the game. I mean, again, does it matter they played the 7 games? I think at some point it does catch up to you.
Also,
the Knicks have to have the rest has to be a positive for this team.
And also, you got to take into consideration this is Wemba's 3rd year, okay? It's not like he's played a lot of full seasons. In fact, he doesn't have a lot of playoff experience. Is this their first time in the playoffs with this team, or did they make it last year?
I know that they've been bad, but I don't
Yeah,
think
so let's just say for all intents and purposes, Wemby hasn't made the playoffs yet. This is his first run. So this is the longest season he's played in his whole life. Think about this. He didn't even play NCAA basketball. So he didn't even have the luxury of playing 32 games plus the tournament, which works out to about 65. So he came from France. We don't know what experience and how many games he was playing over there. Then when he came into the NBA, he was on a minutes restriction in his first year. Second year, still on the minutes restriction. And then when they played him in the Emirates Cup this year, in his 3rd year, still on the minutes restriction. So this is what I'm talking about, is that Wembanyama is coming out into deep waters now. And especially when you become tired and when you become fatigued, your footwork, your dexterity, and your shot both go in the shitter, and that's exactly what Wembanyama had some difficulties with last night. And you know what? Mike Francesa, brought up a great point on his show last night. He's got to play defense. He's not here for his offense. I mean, he's a good offensive player, but it's not his offensive prowess that got him to the dance. It's the blocks. It's the steals. It's having to arc the shots over this guy. Do you notice exactly the trajectory of trying to get a three-pointer over Wembanyama? The way his length in the lane 2 times last night deflected a pass that stopped the momentum of the New York Knicks. Yep. So I think if the Spurs actually want to make us some adjustments and they want to get back into this series, he's got to start playing defense again. But Mike Brown's going to be able to make his adjustments too. And now he's licking at his chops with house money in San Antonio, and it might be the Alamo for the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, and I love the point too before about Knicks being underdogs. They're even higher underdogs in game 2, 5.5 points. So at this point, keep bumping up those numbers, because I absolutely love being in the position of not having to be the heavy favorite, which is exactly what the Spurs are now.
And Knick fans, I would say, I never tell anybody to bet, but if they're going to make us underdogs the whole time, might as well put a little relish on your hot dog. Put a little coin in your pocket. It's double the show for half the dough. New York Minute Sports. Also, go see Mike at Pudgy Boy Sports. And remember, the Z's on sports. I don't know why, but it is. New York Minute Sports. Put it anywhere in that smoke wagon. You call the information superhighway, and you can find this face. Lucky you. Also, go to the New York Nuts merch store. That's the beautiful blue link underneath the video, and you can buy all of our New York Nuts merch store. Are you nuts for the Knicks? It's the playoffs, baby. Time's running out. Get your T-shirt. Get your mug right now. Also, become a New York Nut on New York Minute Sports. It's $1.99 a month. What can you buy for $1.99? Absolutely nothing. Or maybe a guy behind the dumpster. But we have free exclusive content for you as a New York Nut. We have the Monday baseball show with Mike. We got the New York Nuts Wednesday show. I'm going to be going live broadcast, doing play-by-play and interactive live shows where we take your phone calls, and I'm going to be doing that with Mike, and we're going to do Mike and the Muskrat, folks, right? And remember, if you can't be good, be bad, baby! Go Knicks! And if you can't be good, be the Spurs.